I now request Honorable Minister to please come and share his thoughts with you. Thank you so much, sir, for being so sporty in all the inaugurations.
Thank you. Gauranilu Peddalu Padmanabhai Garu, Honorable Mayor of Hyderabad, Srimati Gadwal Vijayalakshmi Garu, our Special Chief Secretary of the Municipal Administration Department, Shri Arvind Kumar, the Director Municipal Administration of Telangana, Shri Satyanarayan Garu, Professor Chari, Professor Srinivas Chari, who's been a friend, philosopher, guide, a bunch of other things also. Professor Chari Garu, thank you, for your continued guidance, continued support. Malini and the entire team of Administrative Staff College of India, thank you for organizing this event. Thank you for all your painstaking efforts. I think without you guys, this would not have happened. So I think they deserve a big round of applause firstly. To the respected mayors from Kanpur, Goa, Chandigarh, and also from my own state, Telangana. We have honorable mayors from Warangal. We have mayors from Jawahar Nagar, Pirjadi Guda, Karimnagar, and Badangpet, I think Mirpet, and others. All of you, who are here. To also the urban development chairmen of Warangal and others. I welcome you all. Khammam, I welcome you all. And to all the commissioners, municipal commissioners of various municipalities and corporations from Telangana and elsewhere who are attending. And most importantly, I think to all the innovators, who've been here, who've been really excited. I was amazed when I walked in at around 2:30, I think, this afternoon. I was really impressed, really amazed. The kind of range of products, the kind of range of innovations that you guys have showcased here at the innovation and new knowledge in water, sanitation and hygiene that has been organized in Hyderabad. I compliment all of you, and I think you guys, more than anybody else, deserve a huge round of applause. The enthusiasm, the exuberance that I have witnessed, going from one stall to another, what I have witnessed is something truly astounding. Because this is the third edition, as was mentioned. In the last couple of editions, I have, of course, met a lot of young innovators. I've met a lot of enthusiastic, supporters. But today, what I really saw was mind-blowing, honestly, because I think that really shows the new face of India, the young face of India, which wants to offer solutions for the rest of the world as well. One of the things I firmly believe, I've been a minister now for about 8 years. I've been representing the urban development department for a while as well. One of the things I firmly believe, Mahatma Gandhi ji had famously said that India lives in its villages. It is true. Nearly 70% of India lives in its villages. But India is actually run, India is driven, India is powered by its cities and towns. The reason why I say this is because if you take Telangana as an example, Telangana is predominantly a rural state also, like many other Indian states. We are about 46% urban, so that makes us 54% rural. But the fact is, a city like Hyderabad, which is our capital city, with about 1/4 of our population residing here, is contributing nearly to 45 to 50% of our gross state domestic product, the GSDP. Same logic applies to many other states and in fact to India as a country as well. I recall a conversation that I had with the chairman of Microsoft, Satya Nadella, at some point, I think a few years ago, when I had mentioned to him that our cities and our towns are the economic engines that actually drive our nation and our states also. He shared something very interesting with me. He said, Microsoft also exists in terms of operations, in terms of, presence in over 180 plus countries. But even Microsoft's revenues actually come from about 70 cities. So the fact is, cities and towns are our economic engines that continue to drive the growth of our great nation, the growth of nations across the world as well. Urbanization, suburbanization is a phenomenon that no country has been able to find a solution to. In fact, why do people migrate? Why do people urbanize? Why do people move from a rural setting to an urban setting? It's something that is, I think, grappled many sociologists, many people who study the phenomenon of urbanization. It is a fact that people move in terms of, in search of better livelihood, better economic opportunities, better healthcare opportunities, better educational opportunities, better quality of life, so to put. But it is also a fact that the next 50 years will possibly see more urbanization than ever in the history of mankind. So therefore, the challenges, that typically come along with rapid urbanization, crumbling urban infrastructure, the environment and ecology taking a huge toll, is something that every government across the world is now having to come to terms with and having to have a plan to deal with. When COVID hit us in 2020 March, the first 2 or 3 months when we were all under, an unprecedented, never in the history of mankind kind of a situation, a lockdown, which none of us possibly had ever envisioned. I saw several videos. I'm sure most of you would have also. The videos that were doing the rounds were that nature is actually breathing, nature is actually being given a break, and how dolphins have returned back into the canals in Venice, and how environment really, and the nature, Mother Nature itself, and Earth itself is breathing easy because humans have started, spending more time at home, have been logged in, at home. The point I'm trying to make is, while development is important, it cannot be at the cost of environment. While development and growth are important, it has to be sustainable, it has to be in consonance with nature, it has to be in sync with nature. That's what sustainable development goals are all about, and I'm sure many of you are familiar with it. When Professor Chari and his team had approached government of Telangana with an idea to create a hub for sanitation, hygiene, and water-related issues, clean tech, so to speak, in the tech parlance, we were very excited because this is an opportunity for us to not only create young entrepreneurs, to give you, an opportunity or a platform to create solutions for India and the rest of the world as well, but this is also a great opportunity for us to create the next wave of employment. In fact, Professor Chari always reminds me, he keeps saying, like how the IT revolution back in the late 90s and early part of this millennium had created millions of jobs for young Indians and youngsters across the world. How possibly now after pandemic, after this COVID pandemic, how healthcare is something that is on top of all of our minds, and how healthcare can possibly also create a spurt of next wave of growth. He has been telling me, he has been championing the cause that water, sanitation, and hygiene can create millions of jobs across the world if we apply ourselves and if we actually gear up. As governments, as individuals, as institutions, if we work together as stakeholders in this process, we can actually create solutions and also employment opportunities and wealth out of nothing, out of waste, in fact. What I saw today here really was amazing. They were excited youngsters who were showing me products on how to even use human waste, feces, and how to create, how to treat it, fecal sludge treatment, and use that sludge also to create manure. There were others who were talking about how to use trash and create, again, a brilliant recyclable products in municipalities. There were others who were showing me solutions on how to treat water and come out with, water that is reusable, treated water that is reusable. All in all, it was a brilliant gathering. But I do believe the opportunity is bigger. The scale can be bigger. Of course, it goes without saying, as Padmanabhaya Garu has pointed out, states have to invest. Governments have to invest. And more importantly, I saw a lot of exuberant youngsters who came to me and who said, "Sir, I need an opportunity to showcase my product at a larger scale. I need the opportunity to scale up. I want to grow up. I also want to create, you know, employment. I want to create wealth. I want my solution to change the world. I promise you one thing, for those of you who have been here, for those of you who have exhibited, who have actually come forward, our Director Municipal Administration is here. Our Special Chief Secretary is here. Our mayors, in fact, have visited your stalls, have exchanged cards. I promise you one thing. Government of Telangana will be your first customer. We will give you an opportunity. We will ensure that each of your products is given a proof of concept at a larger scale. What happens then is, if it works, if it takes off, then you'll have more and more buy-ins from various other, potential future customers and future investors. You have the mayors from various parts of the country coming in here. Mayor from Kanpur is here. Mayor from Goa, Panjim, I think. Mayor from Chandigarh was here. Mysore was here. All of them obviously would have been enthralled by your exuberance, by your, exhibits, by your products, by your ideas. And I'm sure they've all taken notes. I'm sure they've all, taken a lot of interest in your products. The one thing I'll tell you is, India is one country, which is possibly the youngest country in the world today. Our median age of the nation right now is 27. 50% of the population has an age of 27, average age of 27. If you actually expand it a bit, India's population, 65% of India is less than the age of 35. In fact, if you ask me, more than anything else, that's our biggest strength. That's the biggest, strength any nation can offer to in today's world. The world is getting older. There are countries which are incentivizing, their citizens to have children. They're encouraging them to have more than 2 children, 3 children, because the world is getting older and older, while India is still young. That's our biggest strength, because the think force that India offers today, in terms of solutions, in terms of problem-solving abilities, in terms of ideas, is where, the world is headed, where we are all also headed. Now, my humble request to Administrative Staff College of India, let's not leave this event as is. For next year, in fact, Arvind Kumar, my Special Chief Secretary, was suggesting that we should also invite international participants. We should bring in people not only from 26 states in India, but also possibly bring in, innovators, young innovators from across the world as well. We could possibly collaborate with the Water Hub in Singapore. We could invite them. We could have, people from Middle East, people from Southeast Asia, other parts of Europe, Americas, and we could have possibly a 3-day event wherein we could not only exhibit, in fact, we will also provide a platform. We should invite the venture capitalists, because one of the things I believe in is the best of ideas, unless they are nurtured, unless they are curated, unless they are actually funded. And in India, unfortunately or fortunately, what we need is not venture capital, we need adventure capital. We need people who are enthusiastic about supporting youngsters. Without that, you will not pass the valley of death, as they call it. There could be great ideas. There could be great minds who could be working together, who could be wanting to change the world. The fact is, you need people to fund you. We have, Miss Rupa from IndusInd Bank. We had a quick discussion with her. She has promised, and she has, given us a commitment that her bank would most certainly work with our Wash Hub, and look forward to that, ma'am. I'm sure that she will inspire, she and her action, her decision will inspire others. I also know that we're in the ICICI building, so I'm sure they are somewhere also here. Kahan pe hai yaar? Hi. I'm sure we can reach out to them as well. As a government, of course, we will invest, but we look forward to the private sector to work closely with us, create a fund of funds. Let's encourage our youngsters to actually scale up, actually to start, creating real-world examples which will thrive, which will actually flourish, and which will provide solutions to the rest of the world. So I thank you very much for coming to Hyderabad. I hope you've enjoyed our hospitality. I hope you've enjoyed our city. For those of you who are from outside of this city, let me also share with you, this city, in fact, not only offers the best biryani in the country, we also offer you a number of other amazing, innovating options as well. We are home We are home, in fact, to India's largest technology incubator, which is not very far from here, called as T-Hub. We are also home to India's only women entrepreneurs hub, called as the V-Hub, which is also not very far from here. And we are also home to 57 other incubating spaces, which is the largest number of incubators anywhere in the country for any city. So this is a city that encourages innovation. This is a city that nurtures innovators. So I welcome you all, irrespective of where you are from in India. You could be from Kanpur. I met somebody from Gujarat. I met somebody else from Assam. I welcome you all to come to Telangana, to innovate, incubate, incorporate in Telangana, and grow your enterprise here and become a successful entrepreneur. Thank you very much for joining us here.